This is the Two Scrappy Chicks podcast where life is messy, the stories are real, and we dare to talk about it anyway.
Okay, new show. I heard about this on Kate Casey's podcast. She does several interviews and then she'll do a podcast and she'll tell you what to watch, like documentaries, and like reality shows and stuff. So this I didn't know about until I listened to her show called The Double Lives of Suburban Housewives, and it is in Missouri, small town. They don't really say, more like the St. Louis area. So, starts off with a picnic, and we meet Tammy. Her husband's Drew. They have two kids, and they are involved in church. Next is Brianna and Phil, or Philip. They are close friends with Tammy and Drew. And then we have Macy and Jim, and she's a church girl. And her, let's see, okay. And they, how do I want to put this? Here's my damn writing again. They wanted to spend more time together, so they share a vehicle. Okay. Next is Heather. She has a corporate job and met her husband in high school and has several kids. I didn't get his or her husband's name. Okay, next we have Megan and Tyler. Megan was a high school teacher, and her family, I guess now I guess she works for the family funeral business. Okay. Bri and Megan, um, there is like growing tension and it's not addressed in this episode, but I think it will be addressed in the next episode. So then we have Emily and Nathan, and she is a redhead. So she's the wild card and new to the group. Yeah, redheads are wild. Okay. So then, um, Bree and Philip have they're going to have a hoedown, and everyone's invited, even Megan, that she's not really talking to. Moms, wives, friends, etc. So then the picnic got rained out and they went under one of those like um where they have oh, why can't I think of what it's called? It it has a awning over it, so pavilion, I guess you could say that because it's in the park. And so all these ladies are hiding things because they all have secrets that haven't been out there yet. So we learn more about Tammy. She's 36. She's obsessed with plants and cats. And her husband says she's got about 100 plants. Oh my God, I can't imagine that. I had two. Um, my spider plant my customer gave me, I just, I tried. But at least my other plant I got from Jewel for like $6. And it was small. It was just starting out, and it's a pothos. And this sucker has grown. Like I could probably cut off some of it and replant it in another pot. That's how much it's grown. So, and I can do, although it's been raining, so I didn't have to water, but I can grow a garden, which I do, and flowers. So, yeah, I guess I have better luck outside than inside, right? All right, back to Tammy. Her and Drew have been married for 15 years. They met in college. He was her RA, and he was going door to door because they were to have a meeting, and he knocked on her door and she answered in her pajama, or he called it her nightie. And then, yeah, that's all. That's what did it. Brooklyn is their daughter. Cohen is their son. And Tammy is a former vet tech. And she had a miscarriage after she had her daughter. So then when she got pregnant with Cohen, it got too stressful, so she quit her job. And her husband was able to take the financial burden because he was in sales making six figures. But then COVID came around and he lost his job. So then they started the online space of Erica Swings. That's her alter ego. And they make adult content. And she sells pictures and panties. And when Drew says when he first met Tammy that she was shy and lacked self-confidence. And she said when she met Drew, she struggled with her faith. So then we have Macy, Tammy's best friend. She's married to Jim for 6 years. Tammy and Macy are, let's see, being taken. Oh, Tammy and Macy, they were out at a shop outdoors looking at plants, and Macy's like, I think they're taking pictures of us. And they show these two guys, but they blurred out their faces. So Maisie goes, I'll be right back. And she goes into her vehicle and she puts on a wig and sunglasses. And I guess Macy grew up a sheltered life. And she gets nervous when she's out in public. So she always carries a wig so she can go and disguise herself. Okay, I hope this doesn't keep doing this. I lost signal and it went off and now it's on. Please don't keep going back and forth. Anyway, so Macy's alter ego is Julie the church girl, and she's been doing it undercover for 3 years. And Macy and Jim have a son, Leo. And Macy at one time was a full-time nanny. And Jim would work all day, long hours, and he felt like he wasn't, seeing, everybody. So, yeah, doing this gives them the freedom. And, it's priceless. More time, with their son Leo. But Macy's worried about her dad being disappointed. They live in a small town and her dad is a pastor. So, Bri has a daughter, Blakely. She's 5. And Bri was a high school English teacher with a master's degree. Phil got laid off. Her salary wasn't enough. They're struggling. She had 120 students, and even when she was at home, she would be like grading stuff. So that's when she decided to start doing adult content, excuse me. And then she said how she met her husband is she saw a post and she thought he was hot and sent him a message. So that's how she met her husband. Unfortunately, she lost her teaching job because it came out about her doing this adult content and her alter ego, Erica Swings. So after videos were released, it went from 500 to 400,000 subscribers. And 1.5 million after 3 months. Because she said it started at 100,000. a month, and then 3 months, 1.5 million. Okay. Megan and Tyler. Um, let's see. Okay. I don't understand what I wrote here. Um, okay, so I guess this has to do with Megan and Bri and their relationship. Um, was kind of off and they're distant. They grown apart. They were best friends and was told by somebody else they weren't close anymore. So then they show Macy and her husband and son. They're out with Bruce, her dad, and stepmom. And, of course, they're being filmed and they think that the show is about moms in St. Louis. They're a close-knit family, so this should be interesting when they find out what it's all about. So, Tammy's having a party for Phil in the barn, and with these people, she feels, that she invited, she feels safe and not judged, and that she does have a studio in her basement with a lock. And then there's people wondering, why is Macy wearing sunglasses? Well, she's wearing her disguise. And Phil, his cousin, they interviewed her. She found out what they do because of the news. It was all over the news. And Phil and Tammy now do things together, with their adult content. So then Bree goes up to Megan and says, "Can we talk?" So they go upstairs to talk, and it doesn't really go very well. And she talks about that they grew apart, and she feels, and then Megan said she feels like she was excluded because she wasn't invited. I think it was Bree's party. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not Tammy that went upstairs with. It was Bri and Megan. Hopefully I said Bri, but maybe it was Tammy's party. And um like I said, the conversation between the two, I guess Megan wouldn't answer Bri's messages. And Megan's like, "I'm not ready to have that conversation." So apparently Bri did something and Megan's trying to get over it. And like I said, I think we find out in the next episode what it is. So, Tammy, Bri, and Macy are at the gym. Macy doesn't have her wig on. Bri told the girls how she talked to Megan and that Megan was offended. She wasn't, she didn't get an invite. Now, apparently, I didn't look this up yet. The girls have a social media group called MILF House. I don't know if it's on Facebook or TikTok or what. So then they noticed guys were watching them, and then they went and grabbed their waters and they're on the treadmill talking. But then the producers come up, the camera people come up and said, "Hey, we got to leave." And then they're blurring out the three people I think that like manage the place. And they said, we have to go. So yeah, they get kicked out of the gym and I believe they're not allowed to be back. And what happened was they Googled I guess Bri looked familiar and they Googled her. And then, of course, it comes up that she was a teacher and that she was doing adult content and got fired. So, yeah, they got kicked out of the gym and they did not like that too much. So, next episode is tomorrow, which when you listen to this, it will be Sunday. So, the episode will be actually later on today. And like I said, I think that's when we learn what the feud is between Bri and Megan. So, what do I think of this show? It's very interesting. It's different. They haven't showed anything, I don't know what TLC's what they're allowed to show or not show, but they didn't show any nudity and they didn't say if they're doing adult content. I want to say they're on OnlyFans because that's the only thing I can think of. Um, no judgment here, you know, not going to yuck their yum. I do believe I see, excuse me, I see one of the neighbors, I think. I can't remember if it's Tammy or Bri, but they ask, "Oh, you got a new car here, a new car here. What are you doing? You're not drug dealers, are you?" I don't know. I mean, how do you know, when people find out, I mean, of course, people are going to judge in that, but I get it. They had to do what they had to do to make a living, and that's what they're doing. Like I said, not going to yuck their yum. I was just intrigued by this because I'm like, oh, this is a whole new ball game of housewives. So this shall be interesting. I don't know how many episodes is in this season, but yeah. Um, another reality show that I'm looking for. It's on Roku and I've talked about this before, and it's I think 5 people and they have big gaps in their marriage. So yeah, I need to go find that, watch that, and take notes. All right. Till the next episode. See you then. Bye. We really appreciate you hanging out with the two scrappy chicks today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, download, and share it with a friend. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, just let us know.